I really, really enjoyed it. I just had an absolute blast watching. It was goofy, it was cheesy. I felt it was the exact kind of movie that we need right now. I mean, it's just a dumb, entertaining monster flick that you can just turn your brain off for an hour and a half and just have a good time.
Welcome to Dino Park Media. My name is Samuel, and today is a very unique video that we're doing for the channel. Usually we're much more into dinosaur specific and Jurassic Park specific stuff, but today is the third day that Godzilla vs. Kong has been out in either theaters or on HBO Max, and tons of people have already seen it, but also other people are waiting until the weekend. And I'm here with Noah Meskimen from Jurassic Fantastic on Instagram, and we are going to be giving a spoiler-free review in the beginning of the video, giving it a ranking out of 10, but then at the end of the video, also some spoiler thoughts on what we are thinking about the film. But Noah, before we go any farther, why don't you just go ahead and say hello?
Hello, everyone that's out there listening. It's great to be back on Dino Park Media, and thank you so much for having me, Samuel. I look forward to talking about this.
Oh, absolutely. And just a quick shout out for Jurassic Fantastic. If anybody who's listening is on Instagram, make sure to check out Jurassic Fantastic on Instagram. Noah goes over everything from Jurassic Park, so people that watch this channel probably would really enjoy that part. But he also goes over kaiju films. He goes over a lot of movie reviews. He's into, well, you're pretty much into like a lot of stuff when it comes to fun nerdy videos.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much just it's dinosaur centric, but it's basically just geek pop culture media in general. So
absolutely. And a lot of stuff. I really enjoy your posts, and so make sure to check out Jurassic Fantastic on Instagram. But going straight into it, we're going to be breaking this video down to three parts. First of all, our initial thoughts. Second of all, an actual rating and personal ranking of this film within the Monsterverse. And then also at the end, going over the spoiler stuff. But first of all, let's just jump into it. Spoiler-free stuff right here, Noah. What are your initial thoughts on the film? You've seen it twice now, haven't you?
Right. Yeah, I saw it back to back. I saw it the first day it came out, and then I saw it last night. So 2 times in a row.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you got to have some stuff to think about it.
Oh yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I just had an absolute blast watching. It was goofy, it was cheesy. I felt it was the exact kind of movie that we need right now. I mean, it's just a dumb, entertaining monster flick that you can just turn your brain off for an hour and a half and just have a good time.
Absolutely. And honestly, that exact phrasing, turn your brain off, is actually how I described it coming out of that film. And that's honestly what I kind of expected going into it as well. But I think because I had the high expectations of action and the low expectations of plot, I was completely satisfied after I walked out of that movie. I was just like you said, this is exactly what I wanted right now. I don't want anything that's too dense plot wise. I don't want anything that's too too much in that sense.
Nothing I have to think about.
Nothing I have to think about is exactly. Yeah. But also, it just seems like a lot of Hollywood movies lately that have been going super deep into plot, they equate politics to plot, and I'm just like, I just want to have fun in a movie, and this is
exactly.
This movie was exactly that. I had fun watching Kong and Godzilla just beat each other up. It was just so great. I'm all about that. I also. I know that a lot of people in other reviews and some different posts that I've seen online, they've been really pooping on the human characters, and I that's understandable. But I will say that a couple of the characters that we saw in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler, really, really surprised me with how engaging they actually were, and specifically the Kong characters, the characters that were quote unquote on Kong's side, if you will. But then in the trailers, we also see that little girl who put her finger out so that Kong would want to try to go down and have an ET phone home moment or something like that.
Yeah.
But that girl is actually probably my favorite human character because of just also not only because of just the way that they used her in the film, but also the way that the director also helped accentuate her senses and also her sensory deprivation, and we'll go into that in a little bit, with the different choices of how he actually chose to make the movie and edit it, with sound and with visuals. It was so great, you know?
Yeah, I was really impressed with the Kong centric characters specifically, and like you said, the little deaf girl Gia, and the relationship that she had with Kong, and because I was wondering if that was going to work or not, and it was surprisingly effective in how they did it with the way they were able to communicate through sign language, and that was really the heart of the film. And again, even though it's a dumb monster flick, that heart of the film actually I thought was really well done.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was definitely the part that really gave Kong some actual grounding and actual, like, causing the audience to have empathy for Kong, you know, because
Right.
I think you and I have talked about this personally before, but in the movie Kong Skull Island, I felt like Kong kind of had more of a back seat in his own movie, and you didn't. And to me, it felt like I didn't care too much about Kong. I mean, it felt like the movie was more about the survivors trying to get off the island rather than actually having Kong be the main focus of his movie. And of course, I was comparing that to also 2005's Kong, Peter Jackson's Kong, where Kong is literally just, he is the complete focal point of the movie, and Kong Skull Island just didn't have that for him. But in this movie, in GVK, in Godzilla vs.
They make
Kong,
up for it.
Absolutely. I mean, all of a sudden, Kong is actually a character. He's no longer just a monster. He's actually a character, like a person that you can actually root for, a person that you're actually like, a monster that you want to see actually succeed in his mission.
Yeah, some people actually complain that the film may be a little too Kong-centric and not enough on Godzilla. But, I always say, well, the reason for that is because, Kong is an ape. So you're automatically going to connect with him more because he's a lot more expressive and emotive. So I think it only makes sense to make it more Kong-centric because he's a character that you can gravitate more towards than Godzilla, I think.
And I completely agree with you on that, for a couple reasons. Number one, because like you said, Kong is an ape and he can be more emotive, and also he has, and he's also more human-like than Godzilla. So like, just all the things that you can do with that animation style and just the character himself, you can actually make him feel more anthropomorphic, rather than Godzilla, which is literally a giant lizard with laser beams coming out of his mouth. I mean, atomic breath, but
not as sympathetic, not as easy to connect to.
Not at all. And then also at the beginning of the movie, as we saw in the trailers, they tried making Godzilla more of a force against humanity in the beginning, and
which I liked. I thought that was really well done.
Me too. I thought that was great, and unfortunately, for the Godzilla fans out there, if you want to have, if you were to focus more on Godzilla, then it would be harder to see Godzilla as the enemy, right? You would be more drawn to want to actually root for him. But in this case, in this movie, they made Godzilla more of the enemy, so they had to give him more of a mysterious, like, what are his motivations? Why is he attacking mankind? And so in order to do that, in order to create mystery, you also have to leave that character out of the plot in the beginning of the movie. And so I'm all for that. It left a little bit of mystery of why is Godzilla, attacking humanity, and then also kind of like building up this desire to see Kong succeed, because honestly, going into it, most of us knew that he was the underdog in this situation.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was cheering for him, because people were always like, well, why are you on Team Kong? For those who don't know, I was on Team Kong. And I told them it's because he's the underdog, and I like cheering for the underdog. So.
And exactly. And we've also talked about this before too, but I was also on Team Kong. And I still am. I like Monkey, but Monkey great. But anyway, but I mean, honestly, just the movie as a whole, tons of fun. And even though it's lacking in plot, I don't think people are going to this movie for the plot in the first place.
No.
So, but let's go ahead and move on to our rating of this film. So, Noah, I know that you put out an official rating and review on the Instagram account that you have, Jurassic Fantastic. So another shout out to Jurassic Fantastic there. But in review of this film, what is your ranking of it? Like, sorry, not ranking, rating of it, and why do you give it that rating?
I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10, and the reason for that is because when I rate movies and judge them, I'm judging them based on what their intention was, not what I would like to see happen, but what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this film exceeded pretty much nearly 100% in what it was trying to do, which was give us a lot of fun kaiju action, a very easy to follow plot, and human characters that we could connect with without it being too complex to the point where it gets pretentious. And this film just excelled in pretty much all of that, so it gave me exactly what I wanted, and that's the reason I gave it a pretty solid 8 out of 10. Still had problems, of course, but with a film like this that's relying, like you said, more on action and spectacle rather than plot or even logic, you expect there to be some flaws. So that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Which I think is a very fair rating. 8 out of 10 is very, very fair. I'm inclined to agree with you on the 8 out of 10 because I had so much fun with this film. I left feeling, like happy and jazzed, and like everything was like, yeah, this is great. But I will give it I'm going to give it a little bit lower than you. And when I say a little bit, I mean 7.5 out of 10. And because I undercut it just a little bit personally, is because of specifically not the anti-hero, because they're not anti-heroes, but the antagonists in the film. The human antagonists. So obviously people are going to this movie in order to see Godzilla and Kong fight it out, right? And so trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible. We can talk about this a little bit more in the next segment, but as spoiler free as possible. We know from the trailers that there was one specific guy that kind of came up a little bit, and it's supposed to be Serizawa's son. And we're not going to go into the other guy right now because I don't remember seeing him in any of the trailers, so we'll keep him vague until the spoiler part. But for Serizawa specifically, I thought they were going to use him a lot more, and then they ended up not.
So did I. Because and I don't think, I don't know if we can get into this or not, but the villains, that was something I brought up in my review, is they were just really underdeveloped, and I wish that they would have gone more into the motivations behind what they're doing, which I'm sure we'll get into in the spoilers, but especially with Serizawa's son, because that's a major connection right there, because Serizawa played a critical part in the last two films, and I don't think he even brings up his father at all in this one. So it's like, what's the point of the connection?
Right, and that's the reason I kind of give this movie kind of an undercut, is because they go out of their way to get a son of a character that was a main character in the other two Godzilla films, and they don't really do anything with him. Like, you literally could have put another character in his spot with the same motivations that he seemingly had in this movie, and you never would have known that they were even thinking about trying to bring in Serizawa's son, or one of Serizawa's family members into the fray. So that's my major complaint, is that, I mean, if you're planning on trying to use the name of somebody that is a legendary character from your universe, you should actually do something with them. But exactly. So that's the reason that I give it a little bit less of a rating, a 7.5 out of 10. But honestly, altogether, it's a solid movie, still tons of fun, worth seeing in theaters if you can. Because I mean, because like I was listening to it in theaters with the surround sound and everything. It was just booming loud. So if you're comfortable with going to a theater, it's totally worth it, because the surround sound alone in the theater makes all the punches just that much grittier and that much more fun. But one more thing before we go into spoilers here, Noah, how would you rank GVK personally in the MonsterVerse universe for yourself?
I'd put it at number 1 because, like I said, it gave me exactly what I wanted. And I also judge when I rank films, which one am I going to go back to the most? And I'd say I'd probably, out of the 4 MonsterVerse films, this is the one I'm probably going to go back and rewatch the most, because, like I said, it gives me exactly what I want in a short period of time. And yeah, so it just nailed all the check marks for me.
Absolutely. And Honestly, I'm right there with you. Godzilla versus Kong is my favorite, and like in preparation for this movie, I watched the other ones, including Kong Skull Island, because I just wanted to make sure I got the holistic experience before going into GDK. But I watched them all, including Godzilla King of the Monsters. And before rewatching them all in quick succession, I thought that Godzilla 2014 was my favorite. But I think now, after rewatching King of the Monsters, that was my favorite before I saw Godzilla versus Kong last night. When I saw Godzilla versus Kong, I was just like, see, no, like not only is it better than not only is it better than the other two, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla 2014, but it's even better than King of the Monsters because not only does it up the ante in the action, but also it actually draws from the story that happened in that one. And we can't go too far into that because of spoilers, but it even draws off of it's actually a sequential film. Like, you don't have to watch King of the Monsters in order to totally understand what happens in GBK. It helps, but the fact that like it actually does do world building off of what came before is fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely does a very good job of tying into King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island. So it did a very good job of bringing those two together. And that's kind of why 2014 is actually my least favorite of the films, because it really, when you see the entire Monsterverse in full context now, 2014 kind of really sticks out like a sore thumb, like just in terms of tone and direction and the fact that it's a very standalone film. It doesn't really have anything to do with the other ones, so it kind of, like I said, sticks out like a sore thumb.
Right.
At least in my opinion. It may, if we were doing it objectively based on a filmmaking level, I'd probably say 2014 is the best. Just on a filmmaking level, it's objectively the best. But in terms of my personal favorite, I'd say it's Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong is definitely my new top favorite. I only saw it once, but it was just enough for me to know, like, this is so much fun. But let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler parts. So from here on out, we are going to be talking about spoilers for a couple of minutes. So if you have not seen the film, please turn this video off now and just go watch it. Just go get HBO Max or go to the theater, get your ticket right now. Just please go see this film. But with spoilers in mind, what were your favorite parts of the film, Noah?
Oh man, for me, it's got to be that final fight between when Godzilla and Kong team up to fight Mechagodzilla. Like, that's just awesome. That brought the Showa fanboy in me out. Like, I was just geeking out over that. I had a huge smile on my face when I saw that. Oh yeah, dude, it was amazing. It was so cool to see because, like, I mean, since we're in the spoiler part, Godzilla, out of 3 rounds, because I mean, they even kind of like designate at one point, like, round 2 goes to Kong, because like Godzilla. Yeah, that was so cheesy. I was like, oh my gosh, they actually said round 2.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, but also it did, like, it was super cheesy, but for the audience who's there for, like you said, a turn your brain off film.
Oh yeah, it was funny. It just made me laugh, that line. I was I didn't think they'd actually say round 1, round 2, round 3.
Right, but also it was kind of a marking system for them to go, like, okay, the first round, Godzilla beat the crap out of Kong out there,
which was awesome on the aircraft carrier. That was awesome.
Yes, I want to come back to that because that's actually one of my top 3 favorite parts of the film. But then so round 1 on the ships, Godzilla beat up Kong. Round 2, Kong took the axe straight to Godzilla's face and and just caused an atomic blast that was amazing. Knocked down Godzilla, Kong sitting there like the king, and round 2 went to Kong. But then third round, Godzilla finally pinned Kong to the ground, and Kong submitted. And so
for all you Team Godzilla people, you won.
Yep, and I'm Team Kong, I'm Team Monkey, but I mean, it was cool to see how they didn't just try to go like, oh yeah, you know, like one person kind of won, but you know, like we still left it open ended. I hate that. Just give me a definitive knowing of who won.
And that's why I appreciate this film so much, because it did give us a definitive winner. And Adam Wingard, the director, even said there will be a definitive winner, and you can tell it's clearly Godzilla.
Yep, Godzilla definitely won. But But
Kong put up a fight, though.
He did put up a fight, but then going into the Mechagodzilla fight, Godzilla was getting his butt kicked by Mechagodzilla until Kong jumped in the fight. So it shows that like they kind of need each other in order to take on Super Titans. And specifically, so hopefully going into movies in the future, I hope that we have some more. I'm hoping that we get another team up of them again. If like maybe another alien, like another Ghidorah type alien comes down, and then
Destroya or Biollante. Those are the two that I'd like to see. So
yeah, there you go. See, you know the old Godzilla monster movies way better.
Oh yeah.
But so like having some more aliens come down, and then you have Super Titans where it's just like, holy crap, how are we gonna be able to take these things out? I know that King Ghidorah was taken out by Godzilla in King of the Monsters, but like to have
he had some help from Mothra too. So
he did that also, and also he was supercharged because of the atomic bomb. So like there's also that too. But moving forward, if he doesn't have that kind of help, then being able to go like, Kong, come on over with your axe, boy, and like that would be like, that was great. And then also something I was totally looking forward to, and they actually did. I thought it was gonna be Godzilla, but when Kong did it, that made Monkey me, like Team Monkey me, super happy, because they actually had Kong take off Mechagodzilla's head, and a little bit of the robot spine came out. I was just like, they actually did it.
That was so. It was like something straight out of Predator. He just rips it out, and it was so awesome.
Yeah, because I was not expecting that, because like technically we have seen robot spine in Transformers 2, which hopefully nobody remembers that movie because it was just so dumb. But so I thought like, oh, maybe they don't want to have that callback because the Transformers 2 was really bad. But they did it, and it was so cool to watch. It was so satisfying. But
definitely.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and go back to these battles again, the individual quote unquote rounds between Kong and Godzilla. So the first round was on the ships, and it was epic. It was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my word! Like, and the way that because like Kong was at a huge disadvantage. Like that he can only breathe air. In Godzilla, he has gills. But he's jumping from ship to ship in order to be able to kind of expand the playing field. But Godzilla is just wrecking him. And
so Godzilla was obviously going to win that one because, like you said, he was in his element and Kong wasn't. So Kong clearly had a disadvantage in that first round.
Right. But then also being able to see a little bit of fighting actually in the water, in the ocean, I was just like, oh, it's so cool.
my favorite part was actually the very end when Godzilla rises out and he just stares at Kong and they're just staring at each other. Like, that was my favorite part. It's not even part of the main fight. That was just awesome.
Mm-hmm. But just like showing the factor of Godzilla is just staring him down, going like, don't you get back up. Like, yeah. I will come over and finish you. Don't you get back up. And so then obviously round one went to Godzilla, but then round two in Hong Kong, that fight was so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, Kong came out like ready to go, like he was prepared. So
he had the charged axe. He comes just roaring out of the hollow earth, and it was so great. And then also just the beautiful backdrop of Hong Kong, just like that.
Yeah, with the neon lights.
Oh,
like,
so great.
It was, yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a fight at night in one of these movies that isn't obscured by smoke or rain. Like, it's great.
Yep,
you can actually see what's going on. So
it was fantastic. And then on top of it all, they also had Kong with his axe. They actually did the callback to the tree in the mouth with him taking the butt of his axe and going right into,
that was awesome.
I literally laughed so hard because I was like,
great little fan moment there.
It was. And then Godzilla beat him up with that axe blast, straight to the face. It was so great. And then so round two went to Kong, and then round three,
Godzilla's PO'd and he just straight up brutally annihilates Kong. Like,
dude, he kept on ripping at his chest.
Yeah, like Godzilla was basically just sick of him. So
yep, he just went full like get down mode. Like, he was ready to kill him, but the fact that he didn't, like, he gave a moment, he roared in Kong's face and gave him a moment to submit, but basically Kong almost died there anyway though too, you know? So
yeah.
But he did walk away after Kong submitted, and then and then the fight with Mechagodzilla. We already talked about that, but that was so epic. But let's quickly talk about the Hollow Earth theory before we end here, because the Hollow Earth part of it.
That was one of my favorite parts of the film, and that was one of the parts I wish they actually would have explored more, because I just found that Hollow Earth thing so intriguing. Like, you could do a whole movie based around that.
Oh, believe me, I'm actually happy that they did not explore more, because hopefully that'll create enough interest for people to go like, we want to see more of this, and hopefully for another movie to happen, where Kong is actually able to be in his home of the Hollow Earth and run around there, and then we actually get to, like, maybe there's like this ancient enemy that's like buried down there or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's all that Kong discovers or something like that. Like, that could be a good movie.
Yeah, Godzilla rules the surface and Kong rules the Hollow Earth. So you could continue to do movies with both of them in different parts of the world.
Absolutely. Like, the Hollow Earth thing was super cool, especially because, like, you get to see all these giant monsters that are all just sitting down there, like, chilling out below the surface, you know? Like, there's so many more monsters to be explored down there. And so, like, I agree with you, because I wanted to see more happen down there, but I'm also thankful that they did not go too far, because number one, it could have distracted from the main film, which was Godzilla versus Kong. You know, obviously we want to make sure that we're on topic, but then number two, hopefully it'll open up for more movies in the future in the Monsterverse. Yeah,
definitely.
Yes, but that's all that we've got for today. That's our review of the Godzilla versus Kong movie. And Noah, thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, like, it was a fantastic movie. Any final words on the movie before we sign off here?
Go see it. It's awesome. Go see it. That's really all I got to say. It's a blast. So, like I said, definitely the kind of movie we need right now.
Yeah, it's so simple, but it's the action movie that we really wanted to see. So it's just amazing. Go see it. Thank you so much, Noah, for joining me. Remember, for everyone watching and listening, make sure to go check out Jurassic Fantastic on Instagram, and you'll also be able to see his in-depth review written out in text form, and also just like all up on his account. Make sure to check that out. Then also, if you like this video that you saw today, but then you're thinking, I also am into dinosaurs, make sure to subscribe to Dino Park Media. We often do more dinosaur videos and Jurassic Park videos, but today we wanted to just venture off into a movie that we both really enjoyed. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for watching this video. And before you go, have a great rest of your day, and know you are loved.